Hello, I'm David. I'm a gardener with Derby and Joan at the moment, and I used to come to Trust Links as a member for just over a year, from December 2012 up until February of 2014. At the time I was having a few problems. I was suffering with depression, and I used to enjoy gardening. I'd done landscaping before and conservation and tree work before, so I thought that coming somewhere like here would be good for me because I was unemployed at the time, and so it was good for me to get out of the house and come and do some voluntary work so I could feel like I was doing something beneficial with my time. When you come generally 1 or 2 days a week, there are a number of jobs put up on the board, so you can choose what you'd like to do, whether it's weeding or maintenance in the vegetable garden, different things like that. I think one of the first jobs I did was some dead hedging just near here where we're sitting now. Years ago I used to do a basic maintenance gardening, and then with another friend I started doing tree work and maintenance, and then gradually went on my own to landscape a couple of gardens completely, from scratch. I now am the gardener for Derby and Joan, so they have 4 care homes at the moment, and I'm responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of those gardens. So I'd see my role as kind of making the gardens look as good as they can for them, because I feel that then benefits the residents who are there. Because not all the residents are able-bodied enough to be able to come outside, I'll cut vases of flowers for them and things like that, so that then it brightens up the interior of the home as well. I like the fact that I'm able to do both gardening and tree work, because then it means that I'm busy the whole year round, because once the trees lose their leaves, that's when you do most of the work on them, and then when they come back into bud, then you're doing work back in the garden again. Really, my background has gone more in the kind of conservation side of things, so it's nice to now come into gardening where I'm learning more about domestic plants. Once the flowers die off, they'll go really woody, and when they're like that and they actually go like sticks, you just pull them out, and then the plant puts the energy into producing its leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son and I will plant things together in our garden at home. We put sunflowers in last year, and some of them have self-seeded this year, and I've got a gooseberry bush at home which I have to stop him from picking them, otherwise he'd probably eat half the bush before they're ready. He does seem to have an appreciation for nature. If we go up Belfairs Woods and that, he really loves the time that we're able to spend up there. Although I was volunteering here 1 day a week, I would also, when I was able to, go over to the Shoebury site. From fairly early on I was at the open day, and I enjoyed that because it was similar to some of the landscaping work I'd done, where we were, excuse the pun, breaking new ground. When that first opened, it was just a grassy field, and gradually, as I've gone there over the weeks as well, you've seen how that's developed. There's quite a number of people that I still recognise here when I come back to visit, that have been coming here for a number of years. Yeah, I found the whole social aspect of it very useful as well, because come and chat to people, talk about various things that are going on in your life and that, and sometimes people suggest things that you perhaps hadn't thought of before. Well, at Trust Links they do a number of courses that people can sign up to. While I was here, I was did a health and safety course and a risk assessment course, and we also had a day's training on the use of power tools like petrol mowers, hedge trimmers and inline cutters. The training has very much benefited what I'm doing now, because it's very relevant to the job that I did. People could also do, if they wish to go into that sort of industry, they could also do food hygiene and things like manual handling, which is very useful in a number of different settings or different jobs. Because I've seen different members come and go over time, and you see how people move on from this organisation, as I have done as well. And I think it is, very beneficial. It did help me to build my confidence as well. And plus I just find gardening work quite rewarding, because you do an hour's work in a garden and you can immediately see the benefits of the work that you've done. So it's like an instant job satisfaction. Even in my job now, I find gardening and working with the land is very good therapy, really. I found the staff here very supportive. If I'd come in on days where I was feeling quite low, I would find that I'd be able to chat to someone and talk through what I was going through at the time. They would help me to feel better about the situation. You get regularly sort of evaluating on how you're doing, and they try to draw up sort of, not so much plans, but just more suggestions and things that can help you to progress, really. I was only prescribed with mild or moderate depression, which I suppose is quite fortunate. I did used to notice that some of the other members had far worse mental health problems that I had, and I could see that they needed a lot more support. And I feel this organisation is really brilliant at that, you know, because they do give a very high level of support to the members who come here. When I went for an interview with Darby and Joan, they asked about what I was doing, and at the time I was looking to set up my own gardening business, and they're quite happy for me to do that work on top of my own. So I am also still thinking that I will be developing my own gardening business on top of the work I'm doing with them.